Speaking of the holidays, have you seen How the Grinch Stole Christmas? I thought I would wear this in honor of our topic today. We're talking about the Grinch. And I watched the Jim Carrey version of that earlier this week, and I was just really struck by the profound messages that are in this movie. You don't really think of that very much, and as I look at a lot of the Dr. Seuss stuff, I don't really know why my mother would not let us read those books as children. She thought they were evil, but they weren't. I mean, they're really informative little books. But as we're talking about joy this month, and our series is Glad Tidings of Great Joy, my talk today is These Are My People. Who's your tribe? Who is your tribe? And the movie was part of my inspiration for the week, and it's pretty easy to get overstressed during the holidays, isn't it? Anybody feeling a little pinched for time? A little pinched for time right now as we're moving into the year end and the holidays and everything else that's going on with that. And sometimes we can become a little grinchy in our personalities around this time of year if we're feeling that pressure. Or maybe we're the receivers of someone else's grinchiness coming at us as we're out and about, or even in our families perhaps. But I think the real message of the movie, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and of this entire holiday season is love. It really is about love. If you recall the story of the Grinch, they're in Whoville, and the Whos loved Christmas. It was their favorite holiday. They decorated everything. Everybody had trees and lights, and everything was decorated. And it was just a big deal for them. Now, the Grinch was a who left Whoville and moved up onto the mountain to the north side of town. And nobody knew why he hated Christmas so much, but he really hated Christmas a lot. And nobody knew why, but they supposed it was that his heart was 2 sizes too small. Do you remember little Cindy Lou? Well, she was this tall, but her hair was this tall, right? The little Cindy Lou. And she had lost her holiday spirit. She was questioning, what is Christmas all about? And she was watching her dad and all the presents and things that he was doing. And she's like, Dad, what is Christmas really all about? Everyone is getting so combobbled in the superfluousness of the holiday. And wasn't there more to Christmas than presents and trees? As the Grinch came off the mountain into town and started wreaking havoc and crashing bicycles and cars and things and wearing his mask, remember he was doing all that stuff. Well, one interesting thing happened. He ended up saving little Cindy Lou from the sorting machine in the post office. This action surprised the both of them a great deal. They were both confused by it. But Cindy's confusion led her to curiosity. It led her to curiosity about the hairy green man and how he had become so Grinch-like. Why did he hate Christmas? Why did he leave town? We've talked about curiosity several times in the past few months. We studied the Brene Brown work, where curiosity was one of the things that she encouraged us to practice. And also even in our joy plan that we're working with right now, curiosity, being curious. And unfortunately, some of us as we age have a belief that we've hooked up in our heads that asking questions means we're not intelligent, that we don't know the answers. And that may have started in school or in our families or something, but many of us carry that through, and we also have a tendency to be a little short in our answers and a little long in opinions sometimes. You may have family members you know like that. So curiosity, though, have you ever thought of it as a spiritual practice? Think about that. Curiosity as a spiritual practice. According to author Annie Michelli, curiosity is a consistent commitment to meet absolutely every single person, event, and feeling thing that shows up in your life with a deep and abiding curiosity. Not resistance, curiosity. What is this here for me for? To live in a state of patient and observant noticing. Imagine that condition. Patient, observant noticing rather than habitual reactivity. Rather than that reactivity, to strongly desire an intimacy with yourself and with life. And I think this is a good definition for us to think about in the realm of spiritual practice, more in that inquisitiveness, more in inquiry, more in curiosity than not knowingness. Observant and noticing rather than reactive, rather than having our response ready when something happens. Oh, that's wrong, don't we? We have that opinion about what is happening, what is occurring, that it's either right, it's wrong, I like it, I don't like it, and I've got to have a reaction to it one way or the other. And what we're suggesting is that to be more mindful, more of a mindful practice, to slow us down when things are happening, to begin to be curious, to wonder, why is this happening? If I believe there are no accidents, if I believe there is divine order, what could be here for me in this? What could be here for me in this? I read a piece this week by Seth Godin where he sort of acknowledges this culture that we're developing of the one-word answers, as if there's a prize for brevity and pressure to categorize a lifetime of experiences and expectations into just a few words or a single feeling. He was responding to the idea of, how are you? Fine, good, okay, busy. The one-word answers, right? The one-word answers. And wondering, what if we were more curious? How are you? I'm fine. What's fine? What's fine in your life? What's good? What's happening? What was good for you today? Really exploring and being curious in our conversations as opposed to those one-word answers. How are you? You know, I am doing so very, very well. I have had the most awesome day. This is what happened. I got up and I did my spiritual practices, and then I had coffee, and then I called a girlfriend, and then somebody, they may not want that level of detail, but at least something good that's happened. What does that do for us? It has us focusing on the good in our life so that we're more attuned to more good in our lives, right? What we focus on expands. So as I said, little Cindy Lou got curious about the hairy green man, and she was wondering about him. So she began to interview the townspeople and asking them questions about him. Where did he come from? Why is he angry? What happened in his life? Who is he? Why did he move to the mountain? What she found out and discovered was that the Grinch had a crush on Martha May in grade school. Now, Martha May is the bombshell hottest who in Whoville, right? And he had a little crush on her. But he got bullied because of his looks, because even as a little kid, he was green and hairy. So he got bullied pretty badly. But when he recognized that Martha May had a twinkle in her eye for him, he made her a beautiful Christmas ornament for a gift. And as he brought it in, he got bullied in a big way because they said, you don't stand a chance with her. And he got angry. We get angry when we get bullied sometimes. He got angry. He reacted to that. And then he ran away and moved to the top of the mountain, left the town. So he has all this resentment to the Who's. He has all this resentment about Christmas because he was bullied and hurt and had hurt feelings around a big emotional thing. And we do that, right? When something happens, we either isolate, we create boundaries, big walls within ourselves, or we attack. Now, our Grinch has done all of these things, hasn't he? He created the boundaries, and he's pushing back against everybody. He's grinchy and cranky. He's isolated himself up on top of the mountain, and now he's attacking the village even. He's attacking Whoville. He seems like kind of a general cranky pants kind of guy. Kind of looks cranky, doesn't he? He pushes his little doggy around sometimes, but there's a bond there, isn't there? We begin to see little snippets in the movie that his true nature might not be this really cranky guy. His true nature might include more love than we've given him credit for. As I say, his dog. he's not the nicest to it all the time, but they've got a bond. They love each other. They're loyal to each other. He takes care of the dog takes care of him. And then the thing with Cindy Lou, he saved her. He saved her. He could have let her go through the sorting bin and be hurt or whatever, but he didn't. He saved her. So we see that. And then we see the love that he felt for Martha May when he was a young man. So we see that he does possess love. He does possess love. And it seems like little Cindy Lou is beginning to understand this about the Grinch, because she's on a mission to draw him in, to befriend him against everybody in town's wishes, right? They don't want him around. They don't want him around at all. But little Cindy Lou, smart kid, she quoted the Book of Who to them. The Book of Who is their guiding principles. And she said, no matter how different a Who may appear, they will always be welcome with holiday cheer. Our author of our Joy Plan uses that in one of her chapters, not that specific line, but that a lot of our wisest advisors in our life are our children. That our children bring such wisdom to us sometimes. And it took this small child saying to the entire townspeople, hey, no matter how different a Who may appear, they will always be welcome with holiday cheer. I think that's just wonderful. And no matter how different someone looks, we welcome them with holiday cheer. If we could hold that idea for 365 days, would we have a different world? Welcoming everyone? Yeah, we would. As I said in the beginning, this really is a story about love. Cindy Lou was missing her Christmas spirit. She was looking for it. She wanted it to return. She was curious, what does Christmas really mean? Is it just the packages and the shopping and the trees and the lights and all of that? Or is it something more? She was questioning that. And she was curious about the Grinch. What caused him to be the way he is? And isn't that true? The Grinches in our lives, something has caused that. They don't usually arrive at birth like that, do they? Something happens, and there's a reaction, and then the walls go up, and the isolation occurs, and even the attacking behavior can start. What happened? Her curiosity. And it was Cindy Lou who discovered the love that the Grinch and Martha May had. It was Cindy Lou that discovered that story. Our founder of the Centers for Spiritual Living and the author of The Science of Mind, in his book called Living the Science of Mind, he says it is only through love that we find the presence in its greatness and can use the power in its fullness. Only through love. And throughout the movie, we see the power of love. We really do. If we look for it, we will see it. When the Grinch stole the Christmas because he had had just enough of the Who singing and all of their happiness and joy, he had to steal Christmas. He did, and the Who's were upset. Rightfully so. Their trees were gone. Their packages were gone. Everything was gone and destroyed for their celebration of Christmas morning. And they were distraught. But it was Cindy Lou's dad, Lulu Who, because the town was blaming little Cindy Lou, and Papa Lou stepped in, and he said, you can't hurt Christmas. You can't hurt Christmas because it isn't about the gifts or the contests or the fancy lights. They recognize that what's important is our family and friends. And even the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, and bags. And he puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. What if Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store? What if Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more? Our Book of the Month author, Kaya Roman, in the Joy Plan, talks about her personal board of directors. the people that we surround ourselves with, the people that we love in our lives. And she looks to her close friends as those that are interested in her life and that she is interested in their life. Do you have people in your life that you're interested in, that are interested in you? Yeah, most of us are blessed to have that. They're our advisors. They're our therapists. They're our coaches, our buddies, and our confidants. Who's on your board? Who's on the board of directors of your life? Who are your advisors, your confidants, your therapists, the people you go to that you count on? Whose board are you on? Whose life do you contribute to? Who do you bring joy to? Who do you uplift? It's two ways, isn't it? What can I give, and how am I receiving? Our families can be in our tribe, can be on our board, and maybe not. Maybe we have a family of choice these days, more so than a family of origin. It's interesting to think about how we met our friends. As I was going through this week, I began to think about that and how serendipitous it really is. If you think about your really best friend, how did you meet them? Was it like totally serendipitous? One of my friends I met at a business holiday party many, many years ago. Totally serendipitous. And then she took the action of contacting me after the party to set up lunch. Had she not done that, we probably would not have become friends, but we became very good friends. Another was through a business associate. My high school friend, she moved to the town that I lived in from Michigan, and we became lab partners in biology. We were randomly put together in the biology class and became very good friends and still are today. So it's the randomness of it, and how if I look at my friends where this one introduced me to that one, to this one, to this one, to this one, and there's this whole circle and network now. How have your friends come into your life? How has your tribe come in to your life? Who are the people that are in your tribe? This whole joy plan has been a wonderful book. If you've not read it, I think we may have a few copies left out there. It really is a wonderful book of introspection into our lives and how we create joy in our lives and how we can make it a priority for our lives. Because it's easy to stuff joy, isn't it? Oh, I'm too busy, I'll think about joy later. I'm too busy, I'll think about joy later. But it really is something that it's like gratitude. If we start with gratitude and joy, everything else falls into alignment. Everything else falls into alignment. It tells us that we take good care of ourselves and do things that bring us joy. And that includes interacting with other people. We can be an island, but we miss that whole reflection thing, don't we? We don't get to see much reflection when we're living as an island. When we are interacting with our friends, we're connecting with our board, then we're seeing life expressing and expanding. So for my tribe, my people, it's about gratitude and giving. How can I be grateful? How can I be giving in that? How can I give joy? Being inquisitive and curious. Can I be interested in their lives rather than, oh, they're telling me the same story. I know the ending already, so I'm just going to tell them what they need to do. Yeah. How can I be inquisitive, even if it's the same story I've heard before? And recognizing, of course, that there's only love. We start there. There's only love. So let's look at our practicing the principles this week. Oh, before we do that, he got the girl. He got the girl. So our first principle this morning, make time with good friends a priority in your life. Make time with good friends a priority. This is a holiday week. Maybe a short week for many of us. You may be traveling, you may have company, you may be going to see people locally. Make time, make it a priority to connect with a good friend this week for a quality visit, even if it's for a few minutes. Be intentional in that action, asking what is going on with them. How can you support them during this busy holiday week? What are they doing? Good friends soothe our souls and we soothe theirs. Give that gift. Wonderful Christmas gift this week. Up your curiosity quotient. ask yourself, if I was curious, what would I ask about whatever's in front of you? What would I ask about this if I was really a curious person? Rather than reacting and having our opinion. And that's where our brain usually goes, is if there's a conversation, we're thinking about what we're going to say next. We're thinking about our point. We're thinking about, what do I think about that? As opposed to just listening and allowing and being curious. Thomas Friedman, he says, curiosity paired with passion in the exploration of a subject leads to greater learning than intelligence with no passion. Anybody that's had kids in school has probably seen that you may have the most brilliant child on the planet, but if they're not interested in English, they love math and science, they're not going to do well in English, are they? And if they do, they're not going to remember it because they have no passion around it. The science and math, they've got passion around it, so they're going to absorb that more. So that's the idea of this curiosity and passion paired. Curiosity and passion paired. Take responsibility for adding joy to the world. What if we all took that on? It's my job to add joy to the world. Lori does that, doesn't she? Lori does that. She's very joy-filled. Contemplate how you can bring more joy to all of your relationships. I invite you this week to pick one. Just one. Pick one relationship in your life and focus on adding joy to that. Think about, how can I add joy to one relationship this week that I have? And then see what happens. See what happens. Add a little glitter to somebody's life. So I invite you to practice these three this week and see where love expands for you. I want to close this out today with a quote that the author of our book of the month used. It wasn't her quote, it was a quote by Rochelle Goodrich. And she says, "Don't underestimate the power of friendship. Those bonds are tight stitches that close up the holes you might otherwise fall through." Yeah. Thank you for being with us today. I appreciate each and every one of you. You're such a blessing in my life and the life of this center. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.